Hey everyone, this is genralblak, and today's walkthrough is going to be on Atal'Dazar. The key level is a 14, and let me show you a quick walkthrough with the map. Let me reset this. Alright, first we're going to go and do the T-Rex. From there, we're going to take care of these little dinosaurs. I like to pull this middle one right here just in case when you come down here, some people like to walk this way, and if you haven't cleared it, they're going to pull it. From these little guys, we'll make our way to this obelisk, and we'll take care of these guys, and then we'll do the obelisk. We'll take the obelisk just about right here. We're not going to go far. And then we're going to get the invis, these guys, the patrol if it's nearby. Get this group, and then we'll take this obelisk all the way over here. And this area is right above the stairs, that's safe zone area. And then we're gonna do this group. This group's easy, not hard. I know people like to avoid it. And then we'll take this obelisk to the boss up here. And I'll explain why I drop it here. We'll get the boss. Once we take care of the boss, we'll come down to this area. We'll take the obelisk to this one over here. Do this group, these dinos, and we're gonna skip this for the moment. Take care of all this and go here and do this. We should only, there we go, do that boss, and then we'll make our way back. And here what we'll have is someone body pull this group either this way or that way. And once they're out of range, the rest of the group will just get into the obelisk and take this to the boss. So it's a straightforward route, nothing complicated. Let me just zoom out right there. So purple first, then the green, and then the red at the end. So let's get this on the way. All right.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So first we'll go off with the T-Rex right here. Now, if you have night elves in your group, there's an amazing trick that you can pull off. And I'll show you guys once it happens. So during pursuit, right here, good example. Once the pursuit happens, you can shadow meld anyone who's a night elf. And when you do it, the boss will stop pursuit and get back onto the tank. And it's a good way to avoid a DPS or your healer from being chased down. And they can continue to just DPS. And there isn't any worry right there. And ideally, you should position yourself on this side where we have the paladin right there. That way you can kite in that direction. There's no little purple skeletons in this area. It's all clear, and you know, no one's spawning anything, which is amazing. And then when someone gets chased again for pursuit, they'll take it the other direction and position them in the same spot. And you just go back and forth in that direction. It makes it easy. In the end, you shouldn't have to touch any of the purple raptors. Oh, it's on me. I don't have shadow meld, but if there was another night elf in the group, they could shadow meld as soon as pursuit happens, and it would stop and I could get back on the boss. If a mage does invis, it only saves them for themselves. It doesn't work the other way around. like Shadow Meld does. Hunters can feign death and those tricks, but I believe only Shadow Meld works for others in that trick kind of way. So we'll do these little groups. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna wait right here for my healer to get everyone up. I'm gonna pull this group over here just to get it out the way. So if someone decides to walk this way later, it's safe. And there isn't any concern of accidentally pulling that group. I got 6 stacks of that. Someone might... Oh, that one hurt. We'll wait for the healer. We'll make our way over here, and we're only going to pull one group right here. I like to focus on the Juggernaut and try my best to interrupt their rage cast, just because you don't need them to be buffed. And if I can, stun him a little. That way he doesn't charge at someone. The charge does hurt quite a bit, so there's no reason for that. We'll do the obelisk next. Alright, when it's the slime obelisk, I like to help out a little with either an interrupt or a stun. And I try to keep myself kind of away from everyone so that when the puddles pop up, they're not clouding or getting in the way of someone else. And then we just got this last one. Just interrupt that. And it makes, yeah, see, much easier. I know some tanks like to just run off, but I choose to stay to just help out with interrupts and stuns. Reducing damage so that the healer doesn't have to do so much work is always amazing. And we'll just slowly kite backwards. And we're gonna kill it here. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter if you take it down over there or a little up here, because we're gonna be pulling the stealth troll that's around here. Alright. Pop this bad guy. He's around here somewhere. There he is. And we'll take out the big guy. Oops. Tank fails. Where's that pat? No, the pat's away, so we'll get the pat later. Another nice tip on the honor guards, if you can stun them in any shape or form, it's always great. It helps from the rending maul debuff, because that debuff hurts a lot on a tank. Alright, so we're gonna go this over here, and we're gonna get the caster first. And we'll get the pat when it comes with it too. And on the doctor, you want to keep an eye out for the hex. We'll get those stuns. Ooh, they're pulling aggro. As you can see, I don't have any Twilight Veil. Failed tank. Bam, bam, bam. I got 30 stacks. Hopefully we can kill that. Kite away. Try to stay in the range. It's about to fall in a couple seconds. And then we'll just make our way back into this guy. You could pop a cooldown here if you wanted to, since we took that extra group, but it's not that serious. They don't really hurt that hard. Even if it wasn't necrotic, I'd still kite that a little bit just so that the big guy doesn't do the rending maul on me so much. And we're gonna do the drop pick guy. With this guy, in any of the dungeons that I do with him, I'm going to stay here for a minute and just wait for the little guys to die out. Just because of aggro reasons. Wait a little bit for heals to pick up on me. I'm gonna kite away. On average with necrotic, I let it stack up to about 20. I could push maybe 25, 30, even a little higher. I wouldn't recommend it just because at that point you might be stressing your healer out a little too much. So I'll keep it around average of 20 all the time. The more kiting you can do with necrotic, the better. Alright, we'll take that here, and we're gonna drop it here just because when we return after this next boss, we'll be able to just port right there. And the caster in this group first, just keep an eye out for that hex. Now, so we always want to get the doctor first. I know that some people don't like doing this group, but I don't consider this group to be as difficult if you take out the witch doctor. The bolts and the rending maul from this guy, if they're all up and nothing's dead, it's going to hurt. So take out the doctor first and then just kite around. If you have a cooldown here, it'll help out, especially DPS. See, that was really easy. I prefer that over clearing the middle group. Part of the point here is to keep consistency in the route that you're doing and not so much changing it up just because of the affix. You saw I put spell reflect right there because I saw the spider casting on me, just so it jumps back on it. A little bit of damage back on the spider helps. Keep those guys there, and we're gonna position the spider in a nice spot so that when we zone out, people can better position themselves for the totems. I like to put it right over here. This way the DPS can just go left, right, or stay here, whoever has to. I'm sure there's been that moment where you drop it over there, someone body pulls or a pet or something just happens that gets that group outside of the gate, and we don't want that. So for safety, I like to position that obelisk in that area.
3, 2, 1.
And then we'll just keep this guy. Just keep an eye on the cast that he puts up. And I just like to keep an eye on the other.
4,
Yeah, the Noxus stench. Just gotta interrupt that quickly.
1.
I like to keep an eye on the other totems. I know how DPS loves to just hammer these down and they don't. Yeah, you see. There we are. Let me help out right here. Oh, they're gonna go up. So always be mindful. These have to go down at the same time.
1.
So always keep an eye on your DPS. You know, maybe stop on your totem and go to the other one. But, you know, don't push it if you don't have to. Totems are definitely a DPS thing. So you know that if they don't get down correctly, it is your DPS. And I'll just keep this guy in the middle throughout the fight. And they're going down again. And now we're gonna get him. Yep, there we go. Nice. And we'll hero on this guy right here. This will give us heroism for the last boss. I forgot to note, on the T-Rex, you want a hero there. And then I'll just slowly kite this guy around the border here. Just slowly moving. If your DPS, once you're in phase 2 of this, you know, by all means it helps to interrupt the Noxus stench as well. Don't always be reliant on one person to get that interrupt or the slow or the stun, you know, always be mindful and help out. And we got him about a little less than halfway, so He'll fall when we reach about this area over here. And if you notice, a lot of space to walk around still. Which is good for your casters and also keeping a clear path. This is one of those bosses. Well, no, this one is actually easy. But there's a couple bosses where, when you're dealing with something like necrotic, their attack speed applies too many. And there's a couple bosses that are like that. But it makes it hard to take off, and then your healer's struggling because you just have too many. But this was not a good example to demonstrate that on. And we'll take it over here. And as you can see, that obelisk to this one, super easy. Right here. And then we're going to pop the invis guys. These are always tricky to find. They're always somewhere. There they are. Alright. We'll get this. Get the casters. Hold on. Alright, here we go. I like to put little markers just so my people know who to take down. It always helps. Oh, I'm gonna save my stun here. Oh, too many hexes. And stuck. What I wanted to say is I was gonna save the stun for when both shields went up. I had a little too many stacks there. We'll get the pterodactyls. Easy. Alright, go to the next group. This is all easy trash. Just keep an eye on the screech. Now you probably noticed I didn't do much kiting on those groups. The stacks averaged at 20-25. It's not that serious. I'm gonna pull this guy right here alone. Because the other guy, I'll pull with that group over there. I don't recommend pulling both screamers together when you're doing those guys. You just never know if one of the fears goes off, and the worst case scenario, a fear will take someone to the middle group or to the next group, and that's never fun. So out of safety, I'll just go ahead and pull these guys separate. Get the screech. And oh, we got that last tick off. We lost our healer. Oh, shield. Heal. Bam. A little tight right there. Just gonna wait on the healer to pop back up. Nice. Alright. The good thing about also clearing this right here early is if someone dies and they need to come back in this direction for you, it'll just be easy for them to walk through. And they don't have to go all the way around to the second boss. Just making it convenient for everyone, you know? Alright, and as you see, we still have 13 minutes, and we're on our way to the third boss, which is a great amount of time for this. This group is easy. Probably one of the easiest groups in here. They don't hurt anyone. Maybe the augurs with their fireball cast, but this is an easy one. I'd have to say the hardest boss in this game is this fire. Claim the victim. Someone always finds a way to get burned down here. Another thing you could do is this group, You could slowly kite your way up here with them. Just be careful of the fires as they go. I wouldn't always recommend it, but you know, if you want to get a little creative, you could do that. With this group, we're going to want to get the augur first. And we should only have this group, the priest on both sides, and that'll count for the remaining percent. The last 3 will be from the obelisk that we get in the middle. Alright, here we go. Just keep an eye for the... I'm gonna throw a stun just because there's that one... I forget which mob it is. I don't know if it's the priestess. Maybe it's only during teaming. But there's that mob that puts the barrier over them. And then all CC and whatnot is negated. Alright, now here I'm getting 30 stacks if you see over there. So I'm gonna slowly make... I mean, they're about to die, so it's not too threatening. But I'll just make some space. Yeah, there we go. And then they just fall. Kill that. Now I could have definitely pulled both priestess with that group. Saved a couple seconds on the clock, but it's not a grand issue. If the priestess does target you and does the transfusion, you know, catch the blood, it'll kill it faster. It's just the same mechanic on the boss. And here we go. And we're gonna keep the boss up here just so we can take down the ad quickly. And then you're gonna see that I will move the boss to position myself for the bloods. Now the reason I like doing this is because sometimes it helps get DPS prepared. Not just DPS, but the rest of the group prepared to catch a blood. Because, there we go, let me get the farthest one. Because sometimes people are just out of position and they're not right there. So she'll, you know, she'll probably get 2 or 3 ticks off of a heal. So I always like to position myself just to help the group get themselves in a mindset to be ready for the transfusion cast. Kill that quick, and I'll go over here. I always look for the puddle, the group of puddles that has the most. Your range should technically get the furthest ones. And you see, if that right there is an example. If you don't keep an eye out, or someone's not prepared, they always miss the transfusion and the bloods, and they, you know, a tick or 2 goes off. It's not major, but you know, sometimes when you're a little crunched on time, or you're looking to time this by more than just 1, you know, if you're trying to go into +2, those little details do make a difference. Did someone catch a blood? Oh, well, it's about to go down. There we go, easy. And we'll make our way back down. Towards the fronts. If you have a hunter, a mage, you know, preferably a DPS that has bod. Let me see if I can get the hunter to go. So as you see, the hunter, someone will pull someone with, you know, anyone pretty much. You ideally want them to get on a mount. Hopefully it doesn't take them down too quick. And while they do that, you'll make your way into the obelisk. Oh, it's gonna go on the paladin. Ooh, saved by the bubble. Bad tank. Bad tank. And ideally a hunter, because the hunter could feign death, a mage invis, or a night elf could shadow meld. Rogues are nice too. you know, anyone that can pretty much avoid the death by using some type of spell. Sometimes the group will catch up to you and it'll be too late, but if there's something you can do, that's always helpful. This brutal guy always hurts. I always find myself having to pop a little bit too many cooldowns just to select survivor. And we'll have 6 minutes on the clock to do the last boss. Last boss is super easy. All we have to do is just watch out for the one cast that she does. And just be mindful of the space that we have. There's plenty of space in this room, so it's always better to just stay ahead of the spiders and make sure you move as often possible. There's no reason to get cornered. There we go, the pain, the wrecking pain.
Beware.
Just have a defensive for the skewer, and I'd start moving now. You can see how the spiders start to hone in where people are. So I recommend just being ahead of that so that the area it doesn't corner you and your DPS has enough space. When they have to run out for the soul spell, they don't get caught into any spiders or something like that. And, you know, keep an eye, you know, some souls do get a little close. Just be ready to move if you have to. So there's too many spiders there. I'm gonna go the other way. And thank you to the DPS. DPS always help. You know, feel free to always help when the soul or when the wrecking pain happens. You know, in general, don't be shy to interrupt the heal or you know, do a stun or something. It always helps out in the long run. Oh, we got 2 DPS down. Still plenty of time. Let me stun that.
Beware.
Move these guys a little far back. Oh. Get that right there. We lost our whole group. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. We can still do it. 3 minutes, but totally doable. I'll pop another pot here. Getting myself, you saw right here, I got myself a little cornered. That's not good. So always stay ahead, you know. I'm gonna use a health pot to stay on top of that, and like that. Accidentally ran over one spider. Let me use shield wall just to be on high health. I still got a trinket available. Alright, they're going to him over there, so I'm going to go the other direction.
Beware.
Get that. Almost there. I almost have last stand popping up again. So I'll have another heal for myself. I still have commanding shot as well.
Beware.
Just keep rolling my cooldowns there. Let me pop commanding shot. And then I have that. Kind of a little low on the health there. A little reckless with the spiders. don't have a pot, so I just have to be mindful. At this point, I just gotta rely on my cooldowns now.
Beware.
Should be okay still. What would be amazing is if I could get a kill on his ghost, and that would allow me to get the victory rush heal. I got my trinket popping up again, so that'll be good enough. Oh, there we go. And bam. Easy. Not the cleanest attempt on that boss, but definitely doable. And there you go. An Atal'Dazar 14 on time +1. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave a comment, like the video if you liked it, and I look forward to you guys on the next run, which will be a freehold. Thank you for watching.